And I'm just going to say, welcome everyone to a very special session. I'm so excited to do this today. I just shared that I have been wanting to experiment with drawing and sound for a very long time, and I'm so excited that now we're actually doing it. Um, and also that the artist who created the sound is actually here. I always feel that that makes such a difference. It's like a whole different journey if the person that created the sound is actually present. So I wanted to share very, very briefly what we're going to do today. So we're going to go into a process where parts of the drawing are going to be accompanied by sound. And my kind of vision for that is that we allow the sound to actually kind of influence the way we draw. So I invite you really into listening. This is something that I literally learned from Néfur. I'm gonna say, because her work is so much about listening and about kind of deepening into this. And it's been something that I've, of course, done. Like I listen to music and stuff, but I'm someone who always does like several things at the same time, and I rarely just sit with it. And it is such a different energy and experience to really sit with the sound. Now, what we're going to listen to is not, I'm going to say, quote unquote, just music, but it is sounds that have been recorded in Iceland at actual glacier locations. So you will hear background sounds, and like kind of like all the different layers of the music. They're all layers of actual natural sounds that have been recorded in the field by Néfur. And before I like talk more about it, I'm gonna actually bring her on. So I hope you're ready. I'm gonna ask you to unmute and wait, let me see if I can pin you. Can I do this? Add pin. Oh
Hello.
yeah, there you
Hi,
are.
hi.
Yay.
Hi,
Welcome.
everyone. Can you hear me? All good?
Yes.
Yes? Great. Thank you, Antje, for organizing this session. It's such a pleasure, and it feels like very warming, actually, to do this collaboration and bring your practice of drawing with the sound and the way that we have been experiencing this connection with glaciers through sound. That is a lot of my work. Uh, I make music with glaciers. I'm a singer composer. I've been in the last few years, as Antje said, recording sounds of the glaciers here, and then use them with some effects and composing songs is what we're gonna hear today. My album The Water the Lover, and it's also called The Water the Lover. It has a kind of mythological layer to it, and nature spirituality layer to it, of how do we actually connect with the bodies of water as nature, and how this is part of who we are, and this is part of what is around us, that we also are invited to connect deeper, also to the layer of emotions, which is the layer of water, and to all the aliveness that this brings, no? And through sound you can really hear that this is alive, this is in motion. The glaciers are in motions, unless they are already disappearing. We have cases here in Iceland as well of a glacier that disappeared. So yeah, but it's a very interesting moment in history as well, because is this moment that we can listen, is this moment that we can actually connect with nature and with glaciers specifically, before they vanish, and we can bring something forward to future generations from that. So this is a little bit of kind of the some lines about the universe of my work, and I hope you really enjoy following Antje's prompts while listening to these 7 songs that are in the album, The Water the Lover, that it is available on Bandcamp, also on vinyl, but also is now available on streaming platforms, so you will be able to listen again on YouTube, or whatever music platform you use, except for Spotify, that for ethical reasons I'm not posting there at the moment. So yeah, unless you have any questions, we can go ahead, I suppose.
Yeah, the other thing that I wanted to share is a project that I'm
Yeah.
actually part of in Néfur's work. And that's kind of like that was the beginning of this process of drawing with the glaciers. Nefer has a project that's called Glacier Drops, and I am a glacier drop, a happy and proud glacier drop. And we actually had a session there where we listened to sounds of the glaciers, and I just had to draw. That was like we were just sitting and listening. I was like, I'm gonna have to get my pen. I was like, yeah, I had to express it somehow. I had to like allow this energy and the sound and the music and the vibration that I felt to express in drawing. And so I did the first kind of just super spontaneous, intuitive, just a few minute long drawing. And I wanted to share about that. And this was in a way like the beginning of what we're doing today. So yeah, Never already added the link to it. And I would like to just invite you to just share a few words about that because like for me, it was such a kind of intriguing project. And I feel like it's it's such a journey to be in this, to be part of this. And I know that the journey is going to continue even beyond us. And this is
Yeah.
something that I find is just almost like mind blowing, almost like, really, yeah, it brings me thinking about my existence as a human to a different level.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that. So Glacier Drops a is is a community project in a way. It's an artistic project, is a legacy project for the future. And what it is a group of people that is set up as 28 people, and at the moment we are 10. So it's set up as this kind of cozy, nice community that we can evolve over the years with the project. And what these 28 glacier drops are called to do is to receive the voices of glaciers deeply through creations that I've been co-creating with the glaciers, and very important to safeguard these voices of glaciers that are melting and pass them on to future generations. So one very key aspect of the project is that every glacier drop is going to receive a message from a glacier that is going to be open in 100 years by our descendants. So we are a community of ancestors for the future, and what we want to do is to receive the spiritual wisdom of glaciers and pass it on to future generations for when this can be received more widely by humanity as well. So yes, lots of love here. That's wonderful. Yes, we started also, so it has this phase of receiving, that you would receive my music, you would receive a book, an oracle card deck, a necklace like this that is made of glacier clay, and the message, the time capsule to open, to safeguard, pass on inheritance, and together we'll create this way for our descendants to open the letter from the glaciers in 2125. And we are working this year with a medium that will also support us and help us gather these messages of glaciers that they have for the future. The glaciers might not be here because they might have melted, but they have profound wisdom, so we will carry the messages. So if someone is intrigued, you can go to the link, and it's a kind of membership. Once you're in, is for your lifetime. We do at least one or two gatherings a year. We've done 2 recently, but I feel the community is very alive, because you see, like now Antje is like, okay, so now I want to offer this session with drawing and the glacier. So I feel it's very nourishing. And the beauty of it is, as Antje says, that we will We are invited to be part of this for the rest of our lives, and see what brings to every one of us and to the community together, and then we know that it will also continue after we are not here, and our descendants will carry on, our chosen descendants, with this, and I think that's something powerful, because it's important to think beyond our lifetime, no? When we think of how we live, and we think of how we connect with the world and nature. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for mentioning all these things. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's really something that I haven't deepened into. Like, it definitely opened the door for me of really like practically thinking about it, because at some point, how am I going to pass this on, And it's really
Yeah.
nice to be in a community where we ask these questions together and we're kind of sitting in a circle and thinking, okay, so we're invited to hold this energy and to hold this wisdom, and we're going to pass it on somehow. So
Yeah.
thank you for offering
Thank you
this.
so much. Yeah. And if anyone is curious about it, you're very welcome to join Glacier Drops and be part of this project.
Nice. Okay, then I'm gonna. Okay, how can I? Find thing. Remove the pin. Okay, so I will move her again. Okay, so now we're going to listen to 7 songs that, as Nefur described, are made of sounds of glaciers in combination with her word, and they do tell a mythical story. You will definitely kind of see all the layers. Now, with the first song, I actually want to invite us to just kind of drop in. So I'm just going to play the song, and I want to invite you to really listen and take your time with it, and just see whatever comes up inside of you. So the first song, I want to dedicate that to an intention. And it's not about like a mental intention, but really allow something to appear inside of you and listen to what comes up whenever you start listening deeply. So this is my invitation for the first song, and I'm just going to play it. And then we'll have like pauses between all the songs where I talk a little bit, and then we're going to go into the different parts of the drawing process with the next song. Okay, but first, let's kind of just tune in and take a few deep breaths. And as always, make yourself comfortable, allow your body to move if it needs to move, continue breathing. I'm going to not talk, so we're just going to listen.
Is the origin pleasure of the universe created the egg, beginning of life. Its shell is made of gold breath. impassable road to the unconscious. Your perfume hits my brain, and there it blends with blurry images of white snowtops and of all the microorganisms dancing inside the pleasure is the origin.
Invite you to sit with it for another moment and really feel into what this opened up for you. Feeling your body, connecting deeply, and see how did your body react to the sounds. I had like tingling all over. I wonder what it was for you. And connecting to your emotions as well. What kind of emotions did this sound bring up inside of you? What is the field that you're sitting in right now? And allowing whatever wanted to come up to be there, taking a deep breath and making space for it. Now I invite you to bring your attention to your mind and see what is happening inside of you right now. What story, what thought, maybe what memory is coming up. And you can ask yourself, what is my intention for this moment? Just feel whatever comes up for you. Connie says, I feel energy in my hands. It brought tears to my eyes. Yeah, I'm feeling teary too. Whew. Okay, so I'm going to switch my camera and we're going to gently start. You can, of course, choose whatever color kind of calls to you. I feel like maybe I want to do some glacier color. Interesting, I just picked the orange. I wanted to have this bluish. Let's see. Okay, so what I want to invite us to start with is an egg. This first song is actually called The Egg. So I want to invite us to draw an egg anywhere on the canvas, wherever you feel it, and imagine that your intention sits in there. This is a space for whatever wants to be created, whatever wants to mature, whatever wants to be seen today. And for me, it's kind of like up here somehow, and it's kind of like sitting like this. An egg. And just kind of feeling into this shape even, feeling into the energy of it, feeling into the symbolism that this brings up. What is your association when you think of an egg? Okay. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to draw lines. And they're not going to be neurographic lines in the traditional sense. They're going to be lines of the energy that you feel. So we're not trying to go anywhere specific with these lines. I want to invite you to just allow your hand to move with the sound. You can, take it as slow as you want. We'll have, I wrote down how many minutes this one is. This is like almost 4 minutes. We have 3 minutes, 50 seconds for this. So we don't want to draw like 100 lines, but really intentional, allowing. So in a way, we have the intention, but we also have the allowing the sound to move it. So we're going to just play with that. This doesn't have to look any particular way. This doesn't have to go anywhere specific. This is really just to allow the energy to flow through the drawing. I like to draw lines from edge to edge. So wherever they want to go, they can also connect with the egg. So you can also have lines going to the egg or coming from the egg. Allow your intuition to guide you. So it's very like open and free today. So I hope that you're going to resonate with that. And the only rule we have, the lines are not straight. Unless the music tells you to and your intuition tells you to. So my number one rule is your intuition overrules all other rules. So listen to whatever you feel inside of you. And so I'm going to start the song. As I said, we have 4 minutes for this, so we don't need to rush. You can, start with just listening a little bit and then slowly going into this energy movement and really almost like seeing it as a dance, feeling into it as a dance of the energy onto the page.
The string is a cord of blood and water, a serpent of memory from the first womb. She unravels through time in a dark, wet cave. Her lips crack open at every new birth. She threads wombs inside wombs. Her 6 pounds in cosmic bugs. She binds my rivers to yours. She explodes with life in fields of ice and starts the rain of fire.
You're still drawing a line. You can slowly come to the edge or to wherever you want to end. I did way more than I wanted to. It just felt like my head just continued. So of course we have a lot of energy in this now. And I went a lot into my egg, interestingly. So you can just, for a moment, just sit with whatever happened and just feel the vibration in it. Just see all the different pathways and just take a deep breath. Now, the next thing is going to be when I thought about like how I want to kind of frame this, what came up to me was the word embrace. Now, we just kind of moved and it was all wild and it was like really intense. At least like for me, it felt really intense. Now what we want to do is soften and connect to what is here, really creating connection. And we're going to do this with a session of rounding. Anybody who's worked with me, you know what we're doing now. For anybody who's new, I want to very quickly explain that just so that you know where we're going with this. So I'm just going to do this on a separate piece of paper so it's easier to see. I just imagine I have a few lines and the lines are crossing and they're creating this kind of web of interconnections. Now what we want to do is we want to go into the places where the lines cross. Wherever a line cross, kind of have a crossing. Now what we want to do is soften the crossing by going into it and rounding it and making this into a point of connection. So that what we have now is going to be lines that are connected. Now, one way that I like to play with that inside the drawing is I look at the shapes that appear inside the lines. So here, for example, I have this tiny little triangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this into a circle. So now I have a tiny little egg there. And then I color in the corners. And then here, for example, now I have like kind of this round shape. Or what I also like to imagine is like I'm driving down the road here and then I'm making a right turn. And so we can go into the picture and just play with it. Now, what I want to say before we even start is we don't have to do this everywhere. So, don't feel overwhelmed. Also, you can continue with this for longer if you want to. But what I want to invite us into is following your intuition again. Follow where the rounding takes you. So it doesn't have to be all over the picture. It can be in one area where you really feel that you want to embrace what's there and kind of really almost feeling into that feeling of like I'm embracing it, I'm making it, I'm kind of integrating it into myself as well. So I hope that that makes sense. And I'm going to start the next song. And let me check if I have it right. Yeah, okay, good. And just taking your time with it.
I walk your silenced white. My feet are sunken seeds of the future are spread. In us, the chance to spin the egg to life. In us, the chance to spin the egg to life. May the human remember the primal beauty. May the human remember the wicked song. May the human feel the air. May the human feel the air.
Well, you're probably not done yet. And I'm thinking I'm actually going to repeat this song. First off, because it's one of my favorite songs. And so let me have more time to go deeper into it. And now you kind of know what's going to come. So I really invite you to feel into it and to really listen while you're doing it. Look at where you are in your drawing as these kind of pieces come up, as you hear the language and the poetry of it. Really, let's listen to this again um, in a deeper way. And yeah, then we have another basically 5 minutes to round. And I think after this, we're ready to go on, I hope.
I walk your silenced wide. My feet are sunken in yourselves. The human trace is mapped forever inside your shell. Is mapped forever inside your the seeds of the future are spread. In us, the chance to spin the egg to life. In us, the chance to spin the egg to life. May the human remember the primal beauty. May the human remember the waking song. May the human feel the air. May the human feel the air.
I just want to invite everyone into some deep, deep breath. And we can maybe do another 2 minutes. I'm going to do another 2 minutes so that for the demonstration, I have something that is almost complete. You can, of course, come back to this process. You can stay with it, whatever feels right for you. But maybe you just want to take a pause and look at what you created so far, how the drawing changed, how all these lines now turned into a landscape, how maybe there's symbols or things showing up. I just want to invite us into a moment of silent looking. Ooh, and kind of being with what we created so far. And listening to yourself, listening to whatever comes up inside of you as you sit with your creation. And if there's judgment, I invite you to very gently tell yourself that you don't have to judge this right now. It is what it is. It's perfect as it is. It is where you are right now. This song is named The Human. Yeah, it is like a powerful one. I think all these songs are really powerful, but this one like makes me almost like really want to cry. So I just spontaneously and decided to actually play it twice. So that was a good choice. Whew. And even if you still have some corners somewhere in your drawing that are not perfect, that's totally fine. I want to invite you to take a few deep breaths. Wow. I'm going to sip a little bit of my water. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is going to go into color. And color for me is like the next level of emotion that we can explore with the drawing. For this one, I actually chose a song that's called The Mermaid because it's like something, that's not human. It's kind of something that goes deeper. It's something that goes into deeper layers of ourselves. And I want to invite you to really kind of connect with that, connect with the emotion of the moment and give it a color. And trust yourself in whatever color you feel needs to go on there. When we choose color, I always say, you just pick the pen or the pen picks you. For me, it's mostly the pen picks me, and then I'm like, oh, okay, where does this go? So the way I want to invite us to do this is tapping into color as an energy and really tapping into it almost like, you can imagine flows of water, a red flow of water, a green flow of water, a pink flow of water, a blue flow of water, and allow them to move through the drawing wherever they want to go. Maybe they want to become a lake somewhere. Maybe they want to be a wave. Maybe they're going to be a river. Really kind of connecting to this imagery, connecting to this feeling of how water flows, and allowing this to move into your drawing with the color. Okay, so I'm going to start the next song and we're going to go into this. And this is just going to be 5 minutes. So we don't, we can, of course, go later and go longer. We'll see how it feels. But for now, I invite you to, not overthink it. There's no right way. There's no way this needs to look. There's just where does your emotion, the fluidity of it take you in the drawing? Yeah.
Stardust behind her eyes, Neptune caressing her breasts, makes her sing in words to her inner ocean. She's blue water inside, though her skin became a rock. After so many years, witnessing social aloft, drowning deep, her voice chases the light and chills the running blood. She kisses the ones and those who love dangerously free, like the open sea.
And inviting everyone into a few deep breaths. Ah. And I invite you to just be with the colors for a moment. You can continue exploring. We're just going to continue for a few more minutes in the space of silence. Ah. Allowing those emotions to really touch you. Just going to do one more minute. And so that we kind of calmly close this. You can, of course, go back to it. You can continue reflecting. If it needs more, it's absolutely fine if there's white space. Feel like adding some more layers. I'm going to have a moment before we end where we can go into some refining these kind of little pieces if we want to. So wherever you are with this right now, you don't have to feel like it's finished. It's absolutely fine if you feel like it needs one to continue. I invite you to take a pause for a moment and reconnect to what you see. Just sitting with it for a moment and reconnect with your egg, reconnect with the intention and feel it. Maybe your intention is very clear, maybe it's an actual thing, maybe it's just like this kind of feeling. Reconnecting to the essence of it and especially to the egg that is visible on your canvas, on your paper. And I invite us into just a few deep breaths with it. Now that we have brought up so much emotion, that we dove so deep into it, just kind of reconnecting to yourself, checking in with your body, asking yourself, where are you right now? And start really looking and see if there's areas in your drawing that kind of call your attention. Maybe there's different shapes that bring up associations, that bring out kind of inner visions for you. Maybe there's pieces that already have a story in them. Just sitting with it for another moment. So, what I want to invite us into in this next piece is kind of bringing your awareness into the drawing and really asking which are the parts of the drawing that speak to me. I like to add circles. You don't have to add circles though. You can just ask yourself what needs to be added. Maybe there needs to be more color somewhere. Maybe you see a shape appearing and you just feel drawn to it and you just draw it out. Maybe you want to add more lines. Maybe you want to kind of go back into the flow. Kind of really bringing your awareness to what you see. And we're going to listen to another song, of course, while we do that. This one's really powerful too, like all the songs. And this is just going to be kind of like a short sequence, and we're going to take a pause and then we're going to go back into that again. So we're going to just right now work with whatever is already in the picture and see how it wants to be brought out, what wants to be strengthened. You can, for example, draw thicker lines somewhere if you feel like something needs more energy, or as I said, add more color, add shapes. I don't want to give like, too much input there, but just allow your picture to tell you what it needs and allow yourself to see what's there. Okay, so we're gonna go with that. Ah, sit again for a moment and we're going to continue with this actually. So, what I want to invite is your intuition. You decide where this picture goes from here. Anybody who knows the Neurographica method, you can, of course, do the last steps of the method, which would be adding thick lines that kind of show direction or energy flow. Maybe for the people that are completely new, I'm going to just show one. And that is an option. You don't have to do that. But I, for example, feel that for me, I saw this butterfly here and I'm working on it right now. And I'm going to continue actually working on this one because this is something that I just saw show up in my picture and it's what I want to concentrate on. Maybe you have an element like that showed up and where you just feel like I want to use the remaining time and energy of the process to focus on this one specific element. You can also, especially if you don't have anything like that, if nothing, showed up where you're like, oh, this is, what I want to kind of continue, you can go through the drawing with extra lines and imagine a river of energy flowing through the drawing. You can also, concentrate on your egg again. So I'm just going to do one river so that everybody knows what I'm talking about. So I'm just flowing through, and of course I would do that with the music. I'm guided by the music, and it can go wherever it wants. It can go just through the different elements. And here I'm taking it through my eggs. You don't have to do that, but that's an option. And the way I like to do it, I go then back and forth on the same pathway. Sometimes we get lost on the way, and that's fine. Then we create a new pathway. But what I basically want to do is I create a flow of energy that gives the drawing direction and that can also imbue my drawing with meaning. I can use it as a moment to settle into any affirmations or any, kind of positive thoughts that I want to bring in here, any wishes, any intentions, and I can strengthen my intention with this flow. So that is one option. You don't have to do that. The picture will be okay without this flow, but I always like to add it and now have it. But as I said, like this one is really about kind of following your intuition to where it wants to go. And so where I'm going to go is back to my butterfly. I just want to kind of mention this and show how to do this just in case. And if you added shapes or if you add this line after you like found it, after you completed it, now you can see, there's like a stronger line here. Now I would go and round again and spend time with it and spend time with like all the pieces that this line goes through. For me here, it goes through my egg, it touches this other circle that I made here, it goes like through this blue area, it actually follows the blue, which is interesting to me. I didn't even pay attention when I made it, but now I would round and kind of just sit with the different pieces. So you can do that. Or, as I said, if you feel drawn somewhere else, if you want to continue working on the color, if you have an element that needs more attention, go there. Paradita has butterfly as well. That's cool. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to play the next song. And we'll go into your intuition guiding wherever you need to go in this drawing. Whatever the drawing needs next, go there.
Like your beauty, because it's my beauty. I like your smile, because it's worship your sound, your spiritual path, your confidence. You want my light, my mystery, my song, the poetry of my truth, the freedom when I dance. What's fully alive in you wakes up in me. What's fully alive in me wakes up in you. We are mirrors of an eternal memory. We are mirrors of an eternal memory. Beyond this you, beyond this I, beyond this world. Love is the only possible narrative. Love is the only possible narrative.
Before we go into the final song, I want to invite us to take a few deep breaths, as always. Hmm. I'm really curious to see what everybody found in their drawings. So, what we're going to do now, and this is something that I really want to bring in, that goes beyond the drawing, is receiving the message. Sitting with what you have created, whether it's finished or not, whether you feel like that needs some changes or not. I want to invite us into, for the last song, receiving, listening to the sound, of course, but also listening inside of you. What are the pieces that come together here now? Really looking at your drawing. For me, it's like really interesting. Of course, I focus like on this butterfly, but I see like how it touches my egg as well, and how, it's like connected to all these different pieces in the drawing. And now is the time to ask yourself the questions of how does this reflect back in my life? What will I bring into my life through this experience of the drawing now? What is it that wants to come out of this. Like for me, it's like really this. I'm gonna have a lot of questions about my butterfly, obviously. So I want to invite you into actually taking your pen and paper, or you can even do this on the drawing and jotting down words, allowing us to come into language, translating your experience of this drawing into language where you can name the things and where you really relate to your life. Kind of bringing this, I almost want to say like ethereal experience back into the groundedness of our life. So I want to invite everyone to place your feet on the ground. I had like one leg wrapped around the other, so I'm going to sit myself straight again. So I invite you to really, sit for a moment. And for the first, minute maybe, just listen and then really start listening to what is it here that I'm taking into my life? What is the message that I'm going to take home today? And, if you find words for it, start writing them down. And I'm probably going to write on the drawing, we'll see. But I kind of feel like I'm probably going to write on the drawing. So this is going to be the last song. Rewind the first seconds. Okay. take your time, take another moment with it. If you need it, you can, of course, stay in this space for however long you want. If that was really cool to actually write on the drawing too. I'm gonna start doing that more, I think. So I just want to come back for a moment. See. Now, anybody who's here live, I would love to hear how you're doing. What came up for you, how you experienced this experiment. And I'm just going to say a few words for anybody who's watching the recording. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe and do all the things for our channels. That would really help. Yeah, this is the first of, I want to say, many experiments. I am committing to opening my work into the unknown like we did today. And I hope that it lands and I hope that it meets the right people in the right space in the right moment somehow. So yeah, this is just the beginning. And I want to say again, thank you, thank you, thank you to Néfur who has brought into the world this amazing sound. Um, um, I actually spent last night listening to the album like several times, so I really recommend it. If you have a moment, go deeper into this. And as we shared in the beginning, if you're interested in her work in general, I'm actually gonna, in the email that I send, I'm also gonna send her links. And if you are considering becoming a glacier drop, we would love to welcome you into the circle. So I'm gonna send it all my love to everyone out there. Thank you, thank you, thank you.